The front door didn't slam when she left, and honestly, that's the part that haunts me the most. It just clicked shut, very quietly, like she was afraid to wake up a house that had been asleep for years. I'm 38 years old. I'm sitting in a kitchen that smells like a lemon cleaner I didn't buy, and I am finally realizing that I spent a decade systematically erasing the only person who ever truly saw me. I have everything I thought I wanted: the promotion, the quiet house, the freedom. And it turns out that without her, it all just feels like a very expensive cage. The front door didn't slam when she left, and honestly, that's the part that haunts me the most. It just clicked shut, very quietly, like she was afraid to wake up a house that had been asleep for years. I'm 38 years old. I'm sitting in a kitchen that smells like a lemon cleaner I didn't buy, and I am finally realizing that I spent a decade systematically erasing the only person who ever truly saw me. I have everything I thought I wanted: the promotion, the quiet house, the freedom. And it turns out that without her, it all just feels like a very expensive cage. We met when we were 24. Back then, I was hungry. I was always looking at the next thing, the next paycheck, the next rung on the ladder. Sarah was the person who made the present moment feel okay. She had this way of making a Tuesday night feel like an event, just because she'd found a new brand of coffee or a movie she thought I'd like. And for a long time, I loved her for it. But somewhere along the line, I started treating that love like a utility, something that would just always be there, like the electricity or the water. You don't thank the lights for staying on, do you? You just expect them to. As the years went by, I became a master of the half conversation. I'd come home, open my laptop, and she'd start telling me about her day. I'd give her these little one-word answers while I scrolled through emails. I can still see her standing in the doorway of my home office, just holding a glass of water, waiting for me to look up. I never did. I told myself I was working for us, for our future. But the truth is, I was just feeding my own ego and using her as the safety net. I stopped noticing the small things. I stopped noticing when she changed her hair, or when she stopped humming in the shower, or when she started going to bed earlier than me, just so she wouldn't have to sit in the silence I created. I remember one night, about 3 years ago, she asked me if we could just go for a walk. No phones, no talk about work. I told her I was too tired, that maybe we'd do it Saturday. Saturday came, and I went to the gym and then met some guys for a drink. I didn't even think to invite her. I just assumed she had her own things going on. I liked that she was low maintenance. That's the word men like me use when we're actually being neglectful. We call it stability because it makes us feel less guilty about being selfish. The shift happened so slowly, I missed it. She stopped asking for walks. She stopped showing me the books she was reading. She became a ghost in my house. And I was so wrapped up in myself that I thought she was just being respectful of my space. I'd see her sitting on the porch, staring at the trees, and I'd think, good, she's relaxing. I didn't realize she was mourning us. She was literally grieving our marriage while I was sitting 10 feet away watching a documentary. Then came last Tuesday. I came home later than usual, feeling pretty good about a deal I'd closed. I walked in expecting the usual, the smell of dinner, her reading on the couch, the quiet comfort of a woman who would always be there. But the house was different. It wasn't just quiet. It was empty. Not empty of furniture, but empty of her energy. I walked into the bedroom and saw her suitcase on the bed. She wasn't crying. She wasn't even angry. She looked at me with this kind of exhausted pity that makes my stomach turn every time I think about it. She didn't give me a list of demands. She didn't scream about the late nights or the missed anniversaries. She just said, "I'm tired of being lonely in a room full of your things." I tried to do the thing I always do, the bargaining. I told her I'd take time off. I told her we'd go to Italy, that I'd be better, that I just needed to finish this one project. And she just shook her head and said, "You've been saying just one more thing for 7 years. I've run out of one more things to give you." She left her key on the dresser. That little metallic clink is the loudest sound I've heard in this house in a decade. Since she's been gone, I've started seeing the things I ignored. I found a notebook in the nightstand filled with places she wanted us to go. Local spots, little hiking trails, nothing expensive. Just time. I found a dried flower from our first date that she'd kept in a frame behind a photo of us. I looked at that photo and realized I couldn't remember the last time I'd made her laugh like that. I couldn't even remember the last time I'd asked her a question that didn't have to do with the house or the bills. The hardest part isn't the loneliness. It's the realization that I wasn't a bad man, but I was a cold one. I let the person who loved me most starve right in front of me because I was too busy looking at myself in the mirror. I took the most vibrant part of my life and I turned it into background noise. I called her yesterday. She didn't pick up. I didn't leave a message because what am I supposed to say? That I finally noticed she's gone. That I finally looked at the notebook. It feels too small now. It feels like trying to put out a forest fire with a cup of water. I'm sitting here tonight, and the house is exactly how I wanted it. It's quiet. My work is done. There's nobody to interrupt me or ask me for a walk, and I would give everything I own, every cent I've ever made, just to hear her humming in the other room again, just to have one more chance to look up from my laptop and tell her she looks beautiful. But the truth is, she didn't leave because she stopped loving me. She left because I stopped showing up to be loved. And now I have to live with the fact that I am finally paying attention to a woman who is no longer there to see it. If you're listening to this and you think your person is low maintenance, or you think they'll always be there because they've always been there, look at them. Really look at them tonight. Because one day, the quiet won't be a choice anymore. It'll just be all you have left. What do you do when the person who gave you everything finally realizes they're better off with nothing?